Like, that soldier made you so angry that you missed all of those shots over here and that he killed you, right? You just got to get your revenge. So you're clear over here in Timbuktu with Reaper. You both are flanking. Like, look how far away you are. You're almost in their spawn. You are in their spawn. Hello and welcome back to Major Breakdown, where we all want to have a breakdown for Season 1. I know I'm not alone. That's why my boy, Ritzy Bag Boy, he asked me to check out a couple of his competitive games. He did have a win and he did have a loss. So I'm going to check out and see what he did right and what he did wrong. And maybe I can help him out just a little bit to maybe help him ease with the struggles of this competitive season. And I went ahead and got us up to right before the battle begins. And already just like kind of looking at the team comp, I'm liking his team because they're all mobile. Oh boy, that's bad. They're all mobile, and so they should be able to dodge a lot of abilities, stay together, because usually you have like a flanker going off doing their own thing. Winston, depending on how aware they are, they'll go in, come back to the team, or if they're like maybe too aggressive Winston, maybe they don't have the best awareness, they're just going to go with the Genji, and then that just leaves the rest of these guys to fend for themselves. However, with this team comp, I'm expecting them all to stay together, but we shall see. Oh boy. Okay, so first off, I want to point out he has this ability here. He has this ability here, which gives him that mobile boost where he can just kind of wave ride in there with the team. That's the problem one, right? Now, I can't necessarily knock him too much on the Vendetta diving in the backline. That's just unfortunate. Vendetta being in the game is also very unfortunate because Vendetta is just super broken. It should be banned every game. But I don't know why his team let that happen. Okay, so let me go to free game here. Yeah, I don't know what this Jetpack Cat's doing, but I don't think Jetpack Cat can heal that far away. I don't think that range is there, honestly. hold on. Let me let me just see what this cat's doing. Okay, so maybe it was just for a few seconds that the cat was up there. Okay, so he was giving Genji a ride. Okay, just quickly with the Jetpack Cat, if you're that far away and you're just kind of shooting in the deep abyss, that's not helping the team. But we're not here to talk about Jetpack Cat. We are here to talk about Ritzy getting dove on here. Okay, sorry about the sidetrack on the cat here. But already here, so now that we've established that he has that ability, he could be wave riding out of there, right? But he still doesn't use it. He sees the Vendetta here, but he's not using his ability. So now he's just stuck on an island, and the Vendetta's just going to come in and kill him. He's not using his speed boost to get out of there. He's going to get killed by the Vendetta, as we saw. We already saw him get killed. But the biggest problem that I'm already seeing with this is your Wuyang being mobile. You're back here, right? Like, why are you back here? There's no reason for you to be here. You're mobile. Your whole team is up here. You want to be up here with your team. And I understand that, like, Wuyang does have that ability with his basic attack, where he can take the little balls that he has, and he can have them go woo, and then hit somebody, right? Your team is up here. You're just going to be on an island, right? You're on your own little island, and then Vendetta has invaded you, right? And I don't know if you just don't see the Vendetta. I'm not sure if you're like your vision is on the Vendetta, because it almost seems like any player and I'm not. I don't want to be mean to anybody. So if I'm a little bit harsh, I am sorry. But any player should see the vendetta here, and they should react with immediately running left and still trying to heal, or using their ability and trying to fly around. But it seems like for you, this is all you see. You're zoning in right here, and that is not good, because then you have all because then you have all of this space, the pink, right? You have all of that. There's so much going on the screen. Sorry. You're not seeing any of the pink. You're only seeing this yellow here. It's tunnel visioning. You're tunnel visioning right here when the vendetta ultimately comes in and kills you. It's like, oh no, you're dead. And you use the wave, right? I think you only got Winston with that, which is, it's not bad. I'd rather you get just one person than nobody. But just imagine if you were right here and say you were on death's door, you could have got Venture, Genji, and Winston with that. Definitely not the cat. It's too far up. I think the biggest issue was your position, and I guess tunnel visioning. If you had just better positioning and you were up there with your team, I don't think Vendetta would have been able to kill you as easily. If you're up here with your team, you don't die. Okay, so it looks like you guys did get the point, but the unfortunate thing is you wasn't there. Like, you literally didn't contribute much, if anything at all. And that's the harsh truth. You did give the title onto Winston, but imagine if you were there, who all on your team could have been alive. All right, so okay, so this one's a tough one. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like look at every little detail, but I'm trying to hopefully help you understand that everything you're doing has repercussions, or every action has a reaction would probably be a little bit easier to say. So right here, I get that you're trying to attack the wall, but once you see Genji go down behind the wall, you can no longer see him. And the problem that I have with what you do next is that you do nothing. It doesn't matter which role you are. If your teammate is in a fight, you need to make sure that you're there to assist them, especially as a support. Right here, if you felt like Genji was lower, right? If his HP was only that much, it's not. But imagine if it was, you would have to use your ability to speed boost up there and help him out. But instead, you're trying to use his ability to attack around this wall. Normally, that's okay. But your Genji is fighting, and you're sitting back on point. You're not helping anybody by just sitting on point. I'm not saying that you killed Genji here, because you did not. Genji got hit by what looks like a Ramatra circle, so he was immediately pushed down to the ground. It looks like those two just teamed up and killed him. You could have saved him. It is possible, but I think this is more of Genji trying to go in too hard by himself rather than you not helping him. But you not helping him also shows that your priorities isn't to first help him, it's to do whatever it is you were doing, which to throw the orbs, which I get. You can hit people far away, but your support, your first thing is to help your team, and Genji died. Again, I'm not saying it's your fault, but imagine if you were there, we would know whether or not he would live. Now, you did give Venture that healing, and if anybody doesn't know, when Wuyang gives you just a little bit of healing, so this like healing aura, that little like whooshy that's over Venture, she's getting healing over time. So she'll probably get like, I don't know, about here, maybe here-ish, just from that little tap that he gave her, which is fine. And now he's just trying to attack and do a little bit of damage to help the Venture. That's fine. I don't know what I saw. I hope I'm not cruel. If I'm too cruel, I'm very sorry. Just tell me if I'm being too mean. But I don't get what I just saw. I don't understand. So like, this is okay. You're helping the Venture. She goes underground. You hear the Winston. You gotta hear the Winston. He jumps in, so you should immediately turn around. You should be turning back. You should see the Winston, or at least look his way. But you don't really do much. You don't do anything. You're just kind of looking around. And Winston's almost dead. Okay, you at least... I'll give you that. You did help him, and you got him healed back up. That's good. But that, like, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, little space out right there, you gotta work a little bit more on that. If that is something that's consistent, that would be a problem. But you know, this is just first game. See what could have went right, what could have went wrong. You're doing good when you heal them. It's just there's just like little gaps. That's a little confusing. Right there, you have to use your speed boost ability to get out of there. I think if there was one issue that you're having with Wuyang, is you're not using this at all. And if you are, it's not in the right spots. Did you use it there? Okay, you did. All right. So you did use it there. Good job. You got away from the Vendetta temporarily. She is on your cheek, so. So this is good, and I feel like you should have been just a second earlier on this speed boost, but you did get it there. That's good. So this is where I have a problem. Vendetta's on your buns. I don't know if the correct thing to do there, like you did good, you got up here, but you immediately jump back down. And if Vendetta's already on the ground, she doesn't have to like maneuver around to get you now. But if you're up here, you can at least try to support Winston from above. The rest of your team, Genji's coming back, Venture's over there. You need to be up here a little bit more on the high ground. I guess just being a little bit more aware of where the enemy team is would help. But just the fact that you jump back down, you're dead. Yeah, like you went back to the Winston, which is good, but it's kind of too little too late, I think. Winston dies. But yeah, your whole team gets wiped. I'm not saying that, like, I don't think that was, like, all your fault. But if you had a little bit more awareness, you could have made a little bit more of a difference and more plays for your team. And then here, you're just coming back out of spawn, and they're just hitting you. There's not much you can do. Again, you're missing that you have this ability. You have to use this ability to escape. You're just like walking around. Wuyang is really mobile, and you're not using him as a mobile hero. You're just kind of chilling, you know? Like this Ramatra, he just walked up to you, and you're just like, okay, kill me. Try to be a little bit more mobile with Wuyang and his ability. Use that a little bit more. Don't be afraid to use that ability. The switch to Sigma might help you out in the long run because you're not being very mobile. So for this game, you being next to Sigma probably is a little bit better for you. Jetpack Cat switching is probably a better thing. So I'm not sure if you are aware, but like right here, you're facing forward. You used your one ability, right? Your speed boost ability. You could be looking this way and helping the Junkrat, and you could be maybe attacking, whatever you want to do. But instead, you kind of just look away from everybody, and then you get walled off. Which, I mean, it's not really your fault you get walled off. Before you get walled off, you could be, when you're using that ability, you're very mobile, and it's omnidirectional. No matter what, you're able to still glide. So looking this way with Junkrat and into the other team, probably the best thing you could do. And that's just, I don't know if you knew about that, but that's the best way you could probably use that ability of his. That, I think I remember you saying that you didn't know if it would go under the wall, so I can't fault you for that. That's kind of just testing. I guess just kind of get a little bit more used to the character is what I'm seeing so far. That's like so far your biggest issues, and then the maybe a little bit more of your where you're standing, where you're jumping and going into the fight. But so far, I mean, like, I don't think it's terrible, and it's not fixable. Just get more used to your hero. Make sure you're placing yourself correctly in a fight. Like right here, is it terrible? You were streaming on Discord, so I remember seeing this. Yes. Whenever you hear a vendetta, whatever it is she says, you gotta look in the air, because I'd say about 90% of vendetta players is gonna be in the air. Some of them will hide like around a corner, if you guys didn't know. And then she would use her little and then come around the corner and then swing. Here, Wuyang is very mobile, and you're not really using him as a mobile hero. You're using the one ability probably a little bit too passive, because when she ulted right there, you could have used your ability and like dodged or kind of juked her around. But you kind of just accepted your fate, which, I mean, I get it. You didn't know she was up in the air. So I get that you didn't know she was in the air, but that's okay. Very good. That was a very good tidal wave right there. So I can't fault you too much on that ult. I would save the ultimate for someone like Genji here. Sigma, if he isn't ulting, Genji when he is ulting, and sometimes even when he's not, that's the two people you want to ult. Otherwise, you got to save that ultimate for defending your teammates, or like I said, give it to Genji, let him go in and mess up people. But I don't think that's really your fault on the ultimate there, because Sigma kind of like went away. One thing with Wuyang's ult is that you have to trust your teammates, and that's not always a good and easy thing to do. If you're playing with randoms, I would say 90% of the time I would probably save that ultimate for defending somebody. But since you have a Genji and you know he has to go in, saving it for when he's using his ultimate protects him from dying, guaranteed. Okay, that's not bad on the title. I think you're getting a little paranoid because of you keep looking up for Vendetta, which I don't blame you. She's right there. I feel like your reaction's a little bit delayed, or because you could have been like hitting her there. It just seems like you're panicking, or like internally panicking. You're just trying to get away. Like right there. Realize she's right in front of you and just start hitting her. Like you can't, it's point blank, you can't go wrong with that. Or if you want to save your teammate, try to like give him health. But did you give him some health? I think you did. I think you gave him a little bit of that healing. Okay, so imagine if you just hit her with one of your water bubbles there when she was right in front of you. She would have died right there. But instead she got the kill on you, and then Mizuki is alive. So you did a good job keeping your teammate alive. I give you good props on that. Okay, so Genji just said that he has his ultimate ready, and if I was you, I would try my best to keep close to Genji, so when he goes in ults, I would try my best to keep him alive without dying myself. But here, Sigma is almost dead, so I would have saved the tidal wave right there for Sigma. I would have probably, let's see. Yeah, you still have the speed boost. I would have used the speed boost to get in here, use the tidal wave like that on the Sigma, and then he should have, like, he would have gotten a lot of heals. I don't know if he dies. Does he die? He's alive. Your Mizuki ulted, which is good. So here, now that Mizuki ulted, your full focus should be on keeping the Genji alive. That was a good kill. So you kind of left the Genji alone, and I can't really fault you for that. But if you wanted to get the best usage out of Genji's ult as a random player, you have to make sure that he stays up. You can't fully trust a random person. Nobody can really. But if you can at least stay by him and keep him alive during his ultimate, he at least has a chance to do something. So I guess next time, if you're in that situation and you see your DPS about to ult, try to keep them up, or even your tank, try to keep them up the best they can. These DPS and tank ultimates are huge and game-changing. But overall, I don't think it was terrible the first round. It's just more getting used to your hero and knowing the limitations, probably using more of that speed boost. I wouldn't have used it right there at the beginning to get out faster. I probably would have saved it just in case. Good kill on the Bastion. Your team is kind of scattered, so you kind of have to pick on who. That wasn't a good tidal wave. You kind of just used it, I think. I don't know if there's a little bit of panic here. I think there's just a little bit of panic, and you're kind of. It almost seems like you're a little bit lost. You gotta know what you're doing. Where is your team? I don't know if you know fully where your team is, because who is that? Is that Genji? Genji's to your left, really low. Doomfist died, and it just seems like you're not really fully aware of what's around you. You're kind of just like, I need to live, so let me move back so I can live, and then let's kind of get back to what's going on around me. So if you can get a little bit more awareness of where your team is, what's going on. So just being more aware of where your team is and kind of staying near them, because it seemed like you kind of went off on your own for a little bit, or you got split up, maybe is the better term. You're not using your abilities. Like right here, I would have liked to see you use like a tidal wave a little bit earlier on the Genji, because he's been low for a while. You might use it here. I can't really blame you for that, because it's Bastion. All out in the open here. There's no cover here. You're Wuyang, so you should be able to just throw your balls around the corner if you're wanting to attack, but you're kind of just out in the open doing your own thing. That's why the Bastion just kills you. It's an easy kill every time. So like right here, you see the Zarya. I would be hiding maybe a little bit more to the left, which you do here. You're keeping the Genji alive, which is good. This happens really fast, I think. Yeah, so this happens really fast, and I think your health was a little bit low. Yeah, you're about 176. And you immediately get bursted down. So I can't really fault you for that, but just trying to stay a little bit more safe and behind cover, it would be more helpful for you and your team. Staying alive is key as a support, but also keeping your team alive is huge. So support is very difficult, because trying to keep yourself alive and your team alive is difficult. So it's not the easiest thing to do. So just kind of being aware. Like right there, you were kind of like out in the open. The Bastion could have killed you again. You just got to be a little bit more careful. I like the usage right there. That's good. Everybody's healed up. Maybe you got to make sure you're hitting it around the corners. You can't. It doesn't go through things like that. As you can see, Ramacho didn't get that tidal wave, so you gotta make sure you're around the corner, then use the tidal wave. So right there, you should have seen Junkrat. He was low up here. He was yellow. You should see that as a healer. but you didn't look up. Do you look up? No. You're kind of just leaving Junkrat on his own. You boosted Zarya's bubble a little bit. Yeah, and then Ramatra. I can't blame you for the Ramatra. He kind of went on his own. Good usage of your speed boost. I like that. The Bastion saw you, almost killed you, but you got back in. Good job on that. Junkrat dying is just unfortunate. I think what's going on here is that your team needs to group up. Your team is not grouping up, and bad things are starting to happen. So I think this is getting really chaotic. Yeah, you can't do anything about that. But this is just for anybody. If your team is like not grouping up and they're just kind of sporadic like this, you have to acknowledge this is happening and just take command. Like, hey guys, we need to group. We need to group. Even if you spam group up a lot, people might listen. So I want to see a tidal wave here. I would have liked to see a tidal wave. So I think the only thing you could have done there, and it's a little concerning, is Vendetta ulted, but you did not look around at all. You kind of just was like, all right, well, hopefully she doesn't kill me. And you're lucky she didn't kill you, but if she was like above you or somewhere in that room, she would have killed you. So this is great. You guys are grouped up now. Ramatra uses all, got the point. That was great. Right here, I have an issue with this. So this again is just like where you're placing yourself. Like here's a shield. Here's a beautiful, beautiful shield from a tank, right? And then you know that Zenyatta has turrets here, all around the point. But you are here where there is no cover. I think that you're banking on your one ability here. You're banking on your ability to save you, but I don't think you should do that. The best thing you could do, even if you're if you're on point, right, you could still hit them from right here. Like there's a door here and a door here. You can just use that to attack them. I don't think it's wise to stay out in the open like this. I'm not opposed to the tidal wave there. Good job getting out. You got to hear the Vendetta and then just kind of be a little bit more aware. If you happen to see like she was behind you, you might have been able to say the Mizuki, but it's Vendetta. She's really difficult to face. I can't blame you for that. Good job killing her though. You're panicking. You're trying to jump in there and then you messed up, or you just missed it. So now I think you panicked with your tidal wave. And it would have been nice if you just stayed a little bit more calm and just jumped in there and used it then to make sure you like. I think what the problem is with your tidal wave is that you're not making sure that you see them in front of you to use it. You're just kind of like, please hit, and you just kind of hope and pray that it hits, but it's not. You're hitting a wall. But again, I think that just comes with playing the hero more and being more comfortable with that hero. And that just comes with time. But just kind of knowing like when to use your abilities, you just kind of know internally because you're kind of so used to that character. You just know the cooldowns by heart almost. That was a good pick by Junkrat, especially on the Bastion. You're doing good. You're staying near your team. You did fall back, but that's all right. You're just kind of flinging it all. That's not bad. Vendetta did kill you, but I mean, like, there's not much you can do with Vendetta, honestly. And your team wins. So this is the second match, but I wanted to say, like, I was a little bit harsh on the beginning of the first match But there was just a lot to unpack, and I didn't say enough about the hero. But overall, on that first match, I think you did well. I think you could have stepped it up and played great or amazing. But I think you did just enough to help your team win. But I don't think you did anything that like was game breaking. I think where you're placing yourself in fights and thinking maybe like a step ahead, or just knowing knowing Wuyang a little bit more and being a little bit more comfortable with him, I think that would help you tremendously. So I think just keep playing Wuyang or whoever it is you're playing. Just get more comfortable with them. Know the cooldowns, what you can and can't do with your hero. You'll play a lot better for sure, and you'll win a lot more games, trust me. And to be quite honest, you'll be the one that's actually carrying games, or at least making enough plays, like maybe 2 plays a round. Then it's like, okay, I'm making a huge impact. So here, you're playing Zenyatta. This is Zenyatta. And you have the healing orb on Sigma, which is good. He's getting lit up. I don't fault you for that. That's really not your fault. So I'm going to keep an eye on the healing stats between you and Juno. I see Junos do okay in healing, but sometimes they just don't heal enough. Maybe I don't know what they're doing, but sometimes they just don't heal enough. And then the other healer has to pick up the slack. And as Zenyatta, you're not going to be doing that. I've seen some Zenyatas pop off and prove me wrong, though, so. Right here, okay, so I kind of have an issue with this, right? If you're playing Zenyatta, like right here, you're making a big mistake, right? Zenyatta's healing orb is on Reaper, but you see Reaper has full HP. Right in front of you, you're not healing him. Right in front of you, you could, just a little bit, you could heal him. And then if you were a little bit more aware, you would have seen Juno flew back. She has low HP too. This is where I think a lot of Zenyatas mess up. Like, yeah, okay, you got the healing orb on somebody, but you can't just put it on somebody and just leave it there and forget about it. And I only brought that up because right here, you're just attacking. You're focused on hitting them. Like, that orb, this orb is long forgotten now. Where'd the orb go? It's not on Reaper. It's not on anybody. I guess it's still on Reaper, you can see it, but... Like, look! Heal! Heal! Like... These poor fellas! You're still not healing! Oh! Oh, the healing waters flow! Finally! I know it's only a few seconds, but like that, if a random Reinhardt just fire strikes and kills Cassidy because of that, that's kind of on you. That right there, I don't blame you. That was just a good flank by Soldier. And it looks like you guys are losing that fight. I would have to say that's just something that I see a lot of Zenyatas do, is they forget about the orb. They put the orb out. This right here, yeah, you're just missing hits. And you don't finish him off, which is fine. He's running up around the corner. Now you're just chasing. Like, kind of, I'm about to go Stylosa here. I'm getting angry now. Getting real angry now. I'm just kidding. You're so dead set. Like, that Soldier made you so angry that you missed all of those shots over here and that he killed you, right? You just got to get your revenge. So you're clear over here in Timbuktu with Reaper. You both are flanking. Meanwhile, you got... Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is all bad. You guys are definitely losing this right here. Like, whoever you are that you're watching this, if you catch yourself doing this and you're chasing somebody, especially a Soldier who's running and you're Zenyatta just floating around, go back. Like, you see, like, look how far away you are. You're almost in their spawn. You are in their spawn. This is bad. This is really, really bad. You're out of position. Your team is dying. They're dead. You couldn't even keep the Reaper alive. And you're missing a lot of shots. So, if I was you at this point, I would just say, you know what? That was probably one of the worst things I've ever done in comp. Let's either A, refocus. Let's not make that mistake again. Stick with the team. Or I make a switch to where if I am in that situation, I'm a little bit more mobile. Zenyatta is not mobile. For him to flank all the way around to spawn is not a good thing. That to you, I promise. But here, I would have liked to see. Okay, so that was a very late ult, right? And you had your ult. You hear the hammer down. You see the Sigma low up here. You gotta ult. Like this is the, you have to ult here. And you don't, because you want to finish your attack. You let go of that attack, forget the attack. The Sigma's dead. It's nothing you could do about that. But you could save the other two here. And you wanted to finish your attack, and you let Juno die. And then you overextend a little bit. So again, you're overextending, you're not placing yourself in the correct spot. I would have liked to see you place yourself a little bit better even after your team died. Could have fell back. If Cassidy wants to go up there and fight, thinking he's Chuck Norris, I don't know, then by all means, like he can. Like your whole team is dead, so let him do that. Good. So that's a very good immortality field. Your team leaves it, which I think that's a fault of their own. So if those two die, that's on, I think that's on them. Here, I initially wanted to say that this was just bad to focus on Cassidy, but I agree with this. I would probably do the same. That was good. You kept him alive and he killed Sojourn. It's a good immortality, I think, keeping them the Cassidy up. Although there's no one around, so so turning over to the right, I guess is okay. They are. This is just okay. This is just strange to me because the other team is trying to push through the stairwell. So I guess this is okay. This isn't your fault. That I would have probably okay. So. Here again, your team is pushing this way into the stairwell. That just kind of threw me for a loop, right? And it maybe threw you for a loop too, because I've never seen anybody push through stairwell. But if your team is moving out this way, follow them. Follow your tank and follow your DPS. Not so much Reaper, because he's a flanker. Juno is also doing the same. Yeah, like you got to stick with your team. Juno is kind of, in my opinion, kind of throwing, right? So what is she going to do against a tank and a Cassidy, right? Now, you don't know Cassidy was over there. But you guys are split up from your team. If your team is pushing over here, you guys got to go with them. If you guys lose the point because of it, I mean, that's tough. That's a tough call, honestly. This whole scenario is tough because they have 99%, you have 74%, and continuing on. Reinhardt is pushing up. There's a Cassidy there, but your team is pushing over to the right. I would have to blame your team for pushing this way. It doesn't make sense to follow that. Like, you got to stay here to stop the Reinhardt push, right? So we'll see what happens. But your team came back out. If you did follow them, you would have still been alive. And I guess luckily that, yeah, that your team came back, Juno is still alive. So that's good. Let's see what you do here. Come on, big boy. Make a play. Alright, you know what? I don't ever see you play Baptiste. But I think overall that wasn't too bad right there. Your Baptiste play actually wasn't bad. That was actually pretty solid. I'm not going to lie. You had really good immortality fields. You were using your healing boost, the second ability, I think quite well. Your accuracy wasn't bad. And then you switched from Baptiste to Moira. Now let's see, is there a healing discrepancy here? No, not really. I would have liked to see you stay as Baptiste there, actually. Which is surprising because usually I would be like, you don't ever play Baptiste. But now you're Mizuki. Now we have Mizuki and Lucio. Now you're back to Baptiste. What is happening? Alright. So now your team is a little bit mobile. Lucio's just kind of going off on his own. I don't know what the tank's doing. Where's the tank? There she is. Reaper died. That's kind of his fault. Maybe you could have like walked over. That's unfortunate. I don't think that's really your fault. So right there, maybe you see that the Reaper's on point, and then maybe you looked. If you looked at him, since you know that he's over there, hopefully you would know he's there, right? So he's trying to escape. Probably the best thing you could do is stay over here and help him live, right? You still have the immortality field, I believe. Yes. Now the reason why I say that is on you is because Lucio should be staying with the bulk of... I don't know what he's doing. So I wanted to say, like, this is up to you to save the Reaper, right? But the more that I look at it, Lucio should have been the one that really helped the Reaper out. I just don't know what he's doing. This is confusing to me. Like, I don't even know what to really say. Like, we know what happens. Reaper dies, and then you die. But, like, he's just goofing around. Don't play Lucio like this. Whoever's watching, don't play Lucio like that, please. You are throwing. You're actively throwing the match. As you see, he's literally contributing nothing, and he dies. Honestly, I think Lucio is the biggest reason you guys lost that fight there. I can't really blame you. You could have made the play to help the Reaper, but that's not on you. So kind of forget what I was saying. Ideally, that's what you should have done, but this Lucio is making it a pain. That right there was just kind of unfortunate. I can't really blame you for that, I don't think. Okay, so here, what I would like to see you do next time is go through this area here. If you know that your team is out there, I would like to see you do that so you have eyes on your team. You could potentially heal them this way. Here, you're seeing nothing. You're protecting yourself. Or maybe you're just going there just because you're not really thinking, right? Ideally, you want to stay on that left side so you can see what you're doing. Because right here, you could have thrown the immortality field at Zarya. Yet she dies. You could have potentially saved her, is what I'm saying. I don't think it's your fault. You could have just possibly saved her. You did save the Reaper, which is good. You should have seen that Juno was there healing him, so you don't have to look at the Reaper. So you could keep your eyes up in front, and yeah, you could have probably saved Symmetra, but you were kind of looking at the Reaper. You gotta trust your healers to do a little bit, even though this healer, I don't know what they were doing. At least with the Lucio. That was something else. With the immortality field there, that's unfortunate. but try to remember to keep it around like a wall. I struggle with that too, because I'll put it right here and then it instantly gets destroyed. But try to make a habit to put it around walls if you're near a wall. I mean, you're doing what you can. Maybe you could do a little bit more crouch jumping with them. Just be a little bit more mobile. I'm not the biggest Baptiste player, so I'm not 100% sure how to use his jumps correctly. But I feel like overall you're doing a really good job. There's just tiny little things you could do to make up. I think the ult was a little premature. You kind of just stood still, or like at least in line with the Reinhardt when he used his flame strike, and then you felt like you had to use the immortality field. So if you were kind of like moving left or right using the jump a little bit, being a little bit more elusive, you wouldn't have used it, and you could have used it there to save the Zarya. But I will commend you, you did put it behind here a little bit, so good job on that. I think there would have been a better use of the ult than where you did. I think it was just a little bit premature. I use Baptiste ult like this, so that's why I don't really use Baptiste right now. But I would have preferred if you held on to the ult. Here you need to be focusing the Zarya, by the way. And you're kind of just like looking around. You gotta keep eyes on that Zarya. But like, imagine if you had the ult right here, you might have been able to deter them from coming in to point. Or if you had it maybe just 2 seconds earlier, you could have possibly saved the Zarya. Because you get that boosted healing when you shoot through the wall. Or through his ultimate, I should say. So you get bonus damage when you shoot through it, and you get bonus healing when you shoot through it. But your team is doing a pretty good job holding it down. But do they keep it? No. Here, I think, is a mistake. You guys need to group up. This is not good. I think you guys just lost point because of it. If you guys grouped up... Actually, what happens here? Oh. This is tough. This is intense. You have range. You don't need to be face planting into the Reinhardt there. I think you just walked straight up on him. Good job keeping the Reaper alive there. But like right here, why are you so close to the Reinhardt? You don't need to be. And then you kind of die for it. Imagine if you were like in this doorway, because your team is in here, or even like in this doorway over here. You can kind of like poke in and out, and yeah, they could be flanking from behind, so that might be like why this doorway over here might be better. I don't know. I think you could have placed yourself a little bit better there, maybe stayed alive, but I think you guys lose the point here, right? Yeah. Again, I think that's just where you're placing yourself isn't the best. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's just bad. Not terrible, bad. I don't like that your teammate switched to Lucio. That's not good. Right there, I would have liked to see you ping for maybe help or like group up. I also would have liked to see you do your jump, your like bouncy jumps or whatever they're called. Not right here. I think you would have been fine not getting that health pack and just moving forward using your one ability to heal around you. That way you can keep eyes on your team. But like right here, I would have liked to see you use your jump ability to just avoid some of the soldiers' hits, and then you could have like healed right here. Now your team isn't like too low, but just getting in that mindset of doing that in this situation is great. I feel like you're kind of a little bit lost because of the soldier. Kind of getting your bearings here. The soldier was just on your cheeks the whole time, so I get that. But I feel like you could have probably stayed back a little bit. Maybe around the corner. Maybe even like using your jump ability to shoot through this little hole there on the other side. I don't know. That's just tough. That's a tough situation. Well, thank goodness your other support went back to Juno and not that Lucio business. Here, you're pushed up too far. I can already say that. You need to push back a little bit. You're not with your team. Your tank needs to be in front of you. Or at least around you. And who got booped? Nobody? Good. If you use your healing instead of shooting right there, you might have been able to save the Zarya. So like right here, you're shooting the Reinhardt, which is okay, but right here is when you need to start trying to heal. Instead of throwing your immortality field, you could have just been healing the Zarya. So right here, you could have thrown the immortality field. So that's like really nitpicking. I think you again moved up too far. You're a healer, you have range. You gotta use your range, your Baptiste. So I would have liked to see you use your range a little bit more instead of, again, just like the end of the last round, you were like right up in Reinhardt's face. I would have liked to see you keep your range, keep your distance. Yeah, this is just going downhill all around. I think if you played back a little bit more, again, using your range probably would have been ideal there. Maybe could have saved your Zarya. Oh, well, you know what? That actually wasn't... I didn't even see that she got booped off, so that's really not on you. But I would have liked to see you use your range and stayed back here a little bit more. Maybe even use your jump to jump back over this wall. I'm not too sure. But once the Zarya got booped, that's just 2 fights and it's already at 80%. This, you guys aren't grouped up at all. You have no way to know where you got booped off there. And your team is dead. Juno's alive and so is Reaper. But like right there, you got booped, right? So you've already seen the Zarya get booped. It would have been good to have a little bit more awareness. Like, okay, they have Lucio. Let's not go left, right? So right here, you see that your team is splitting up, but you're kind of just, you're going across the bridge. And you're trying to, I don't know what you're trying to do. Like, you're trying to 1v1 the soldier. You have Cassidy there. Imagine if you went over here and helped the Zarya. So what happens with Zarya? So this is where you are about to get booped. So let's just kind of keep vision here.
I've got you in my sights. Die.
You could have possibly used the immortality field out here for the Zarya, and then you could have saved her, I think. So here's where you get booped. If you had the immortality field there, soldier wouldn't have killed. Possibly. That's just possibly. Or you could have been back here with your 2 teammates, helping them out on point. And it's just a lost round. I think overall, again, I don't think it was terrible. I just feel like there was times where you were kind of just, you were like face planting into the Reinhardt on a couple occasions there. When you're Baptiste, you have range. When you're Wuyang, you weren't using your mobile ability. You were kind of just walking around. You know what I mean? It just seems like you're not using the hero to its maximum ability. I don't feel like that's terrible stats. You probably could have got a couple more elims. You did good on the assists. You died more than I would have liked to have seen, and I think that just comes with like where you're placing yourself. So if I had to tell you to work on a couple things, I would say learn hero, feel more comfortable with the hero. I would probably put your hero pool down to maybe 3. So maybe 3 heroes, and just learning them almost inside out. Placement, where you're placing yourself in fights. Because there's times where, like at the beginning of the first game, instead of being right there with the Winston, you were kind of off in the back. That was easy pickings for the Vendetta to come in and just kill you, right? So if you were with your team, the Vendetta may not have been able to kill you. She probably would have, but at least you would have been right there with them. And then like face planting into the Reinhardt is not a good thing, especially with Baptiste. You have range. You use the range. And then the Zenyatta, that debacle, I feel like don't flank around like that. Don't do that stuff. Placement is probably your biggest thing you got to work on. I'd say half the time you did good, and then half the time you had bad placement. So this is probably the biggest thing if I had to suggest anything to fix, is placement. I mean, if you just fix these 2 alone, probably shouldn't have made it blue or whatever. If you fix these 2 alone, I think you'll find yourself winning more games. I could go into more detail because it looked like throughout the game, I don't know if like you have a small mouse pad or something. I don't know. It was like you would be looking here, and then like it looked like you would move smooth and then stop, almost like you're picking up your mouse to move smooth again. And then there was times where it was like it almost like you kind of spaced out for like half a second. There's times where you do that. So if you're like more focused on what is going on around you, I think that would help a little bit. I want to say like I would say that's more nitpicking rather than like these 2 right here. Guaranteed you got to fix these 2. If you fix these 2, you'll win more games. If you want to go even higher, I don't know about these 2. It was just weird movement that I saw you were doing. I don't know if it's like sensitivity, or if it's like a small mouse pad, or maybe you're just like not focused. I don't know. There was, yeah, you know what? One more thing. You were panicking. I could tell you were panicking. And there was times that kind of go along with this like circle. When you're panicking, you're kind of losing track of where your teammates are, and you're just kind of maybe running towards a health pack. You're running towards that health pack to make sure you live, or the first match with Wuyang, I was confused because there was that pillar, and you were kind of like walking into it and trying to go around it, and then I was just confused, and it just seems like you're losing awareness of what's around you. But just being aware that is something that you have an issue with might help you fix it. I'm not sure. Hopefully this video does help you, and hopefully this video helps other people see the little things here and there that maybe they're doing as well. I hope this was more helpful than hindering you, because I really want to see you win. I want to see you do great. I would love to see you in like high plat. I know you're struggling right now with the rank. I don't even want to say it on here because hey, I was struggling a little bit too, but I think if you focus on those things, you'll find yourself winning more games. And yes, there is times where you're going to have to go Zenyatta, DPS a little bit more, Moira, DPS a little bit more, just because your team isn't that great. That's just how it is. There's just a lot of little things that kind of add up, and eventually you're going to fix these things, and then you're going to see yourself winning more and more games. I don't think you're a lost cause. I don't think that ranked is out to get you. And in that loss, I don't think that your team was fully to blame. There was a couple instances where you could have done things a little bit differently, and maybe you could have turned the tides. Again, you played really good with the Baptiste, but there was maybe one, maybe two plays that you made that was really good, but there wasn't like groundbreaking moves or like a crazy ultimate. Or how many ultimates did you just have? Like the one ultimate? I think so, because you did Zenyatta. You had the one ultimate with Baptiste, so I can't really say how you're using his ultimate, but in that game alone, I would have liked to see the ultimate done a little bit better. But okay, I don't know if I'm just rambling now, but hopefully I helped you out just a little bit, and hopefully this helps somebody else out. But that's it for this major breakdown. If you want me to do a major breakdown for you, go ahead and comment down below your replay code. All you do is click on one of your past matches, click share. It'll make a replay link, and you just type this in on the comments, and I will do my best to watch your gameplay. I'm not here to try to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm not trying to push somebody down. I want to see people do better at this game. So I have this on the channel. If you want me to help you, I would be more than happy to. Your replay code and who you were, and I will get to it as soon as I can. And if nobody does it, then I guess I'll just do one of my tank ones next. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And as Stylosa used to say, toodaloo.